What's going on, everybody? I'm here with my boy Fernando, aka Cholo. We're gonna be talking
good, baby. How we doing?
We're doing good, man. This quarantine life, you know what I'm saying?
I know. I already know.
So, the draft is coming up in next Thursday, in about 10 days here, and we're gonna be talking about the NFL draft. And the Dolphins are the talk of the town right now because not only the hometown team, but they got 5 draft picks, 3 in the first round, 2 in the second round. They're a very intriguing team. But before we talk about the draft, before teams do their draft and who they're going to draft, free agency is where it all starts.
Absolutely.
And, the Dolphins definitely had a busy, in my opinion, productive free agency. So, Fernando, as a season ticket holder for I don't know how many years, that you've been a season ticket holder, you're an avid Dolphins fan, you follow the team very closely. So what was your take on free agency and how's this going to set up for the draft?
So I'm actually going on my 8th year as a season ticket holder, a proud member of the Deep End, Section 129, Row 2, Deep End Security. You already know. The loudest fans, we stand up, we get up. This is what we do, sit right behind the gorillas, take care of everybody. So not only do we have those 5 draft picks in the top 2 rounds, but we had the most cap room as well. So we had to make some moves in free agency. So we've been super active here in the. This is a crucial off season for the Dolphins because of all the cap room we have, 1, and 2, all the draft picks, all the draft capital we have.
True, and the Dolphins do have a lot of holes to fill. They traded away Laremy Tunsil. They made some moves to acquire the picks. So a couple of first rounders. They got Minka Fitzpatrick. They traded away to the Steelers.
Absolutely.
We were kind of hoping that'd be another top 10 pick there. It was looking good the first quarter of the season, but then Pittsburgh kept winning. So
we expected too much from him.
Well, the reports where they weren't using him right and whatnot, and he tended to have a good niche there. And Pittsburgh, so good for him. It is what it is.
It worked out for both sides.
It's the business. You got a first round pick out of it, and we were able to take advantage of the Texans wanting a first round pick for giving up a first round pick for Laremy Tunsil, and so 3 first rounders. So let's talk about the free agency. They made the big splash with Byron Jones. That was the big signing, a cornerback to play opposite of Xavier Howard. And
a big signing. To put
him right. That was a great signing.
We can put him right opposite of Xavier Howard. It kind of reminds you of the Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain years. Right. Just man up, and you already know the players seen. We won 5 of our last 9 games. At the end of the season, might be 5 of our last 7 games at the end of the season. So this team came out to fight strong, play hard for the coaching staff that we have. So Coach Flores brought that into free agency. And if you listen to all the players during their interviews, especially the free agents we got, especially the defensive players we got, came and said they want to play in the Brian Flores system. Up front, press, man, blitz. Hey, mano a mano, we're going to be better than you. So that's exactly what we got. We got Byron Jones who could play outside corner. He could play the slot corner. You could even drop him back and play safety. Yes, he's only had 2 interceptions in his career. But if you see him, he's locked down. He's locked down. Some of the best receivers in the league, A.J. Green, Marcus Colston, in his own division. He locks down who he sits in front of, and that's exactly what we have with Xavier Howard opposite side. So we definitely, I think that was a huge win, and that was a huge get for us there. So we definitely needed that. When you talk about our other free agency needs, obviously offensive line was huge. So bringing back home Eric Flowers, who, won a state championship with Northern High School, went to the University of Miami, obviously didn't work out at tackle. Yeah, exactly. All about the U, baby. But obviously didn't work at offensive tackle with the New York Giants or with the Jaguars. But he seems to have found his niche playing guard. Left guard, he's explosive. He's strong. He had one of the most reps at the combine when he was going into the draft. He's found it there. So definitely he can play guard for us. He can play a swing tackle if needed, if we have an injury on the outside, with whether our incoming rookie or with Jesse Davis. So we have a really good play, versatile. You can see that with the Brian Flores system. He wants versatile players. He wants players that not just play one position, but you can move them all over the field. Whether it's on defense, you can move like Byron Jones, outside corner, slot corner, safety. Now we have an offensive lineman like Eric Flowers who can play guard, who can play tackle. We signed Ted Karras from the New England Patriots, obviously, because that's where Brian Flores came from, who could play center, who can play guard. And we signed him for cheap, 1-year contract. We could draft somebody who will be his replacement. If he shows up and plays good, you give him a multi-year deal. But we have players like that. Shaq Lawson was a defensive end over at the Bills. They thought he was a bust, had a breakout year this year, had 6, 7 sacks this season. And now we reunite him with his old college coach at Clemson, who with his old college buddy, who's Christian Wilkins, and we have the Clemson defensive line over here. So, what I love is defense. So now we have our corners that can play man-to-man. We got some players that can put pressure on the quarterback with Christian Wilkins, with Shaq Lawson, with Agba, and Kyle Van Noy, who plays linebacker. He can drop back in coverage. He can rush the passer. You can move him over to the defensive line. We signed back Colbert. We got a big signing with a running back, which was really big, Jordan Howard. Yeah. I mean, he's a goal line guy. He's the pound. Now we got to go into the draft and find our lightning to our thunder that we got now.
No, I agree with a lot of your assessments there. I think, seen in a slightly different way, Byron Jones line up opposite Xavier Howard, locking that down like you said, the Surtain, Madison era there, because it's, you got some. Stephon Diggs is now over in Buffalo, so you gotta cover him on. You got Stephon Diggs with that other wide receiver off the top of my head. I can't remember his name.
But, you're absolutely right.
Punch. Yeah. Kyle Van Noy, he's a very smart veteran. He's gonna mentor Raekwon McMillan. He's gonna mentor Charles Harris. He's gonna mentor that group, and he's gonna kind of be the spokesperson of that group because he's established. He's going to. I see the Dolphins bringing him in not only to contribute to play at a high level, but to also mentor that young group there.
Absolutely.
Shaq Lawson is going to be bringing, he's going to kind of resurrect his career in a sense. He's not going to be at the top of the sack leader list, but he's going to bring that constant pressure from the defensive end. He's just going to, give it every single snap, along with Agba there.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. We've had top of the sack, sack leaders in our past. Jason Taylor, Cameron Wake. We always are in the top. We have players like that. But now in the Brian Flores system, it's not one person's getting our sacks. It's got to be everybody. It's got to be contributing. It's not an individual getting a top sack. If you look at the New England Patriots system, how many times do they have the top sack getter? Maybe when Chandler Jones was there a couple years back, maybe Richard Seymour getting 10 sacks a year or something like that. But it's a team defense. It's blitz from this side, zone on this side, man on this side. It's the team getting sacked. So that's why we need players that can play inside, players that can play outside. Shaq Lawson, you can rush from the inside, you can rush from the outside. Agba, same thing, rush from the inside, rush from the outside. Christian Wilkins can play nose guard, can play the 3 technique. Godchuk can play the 0 technique, can play the 3 technique. And we have the players. That's the biggest thing right now is versatility, and can these players not come off the field? And when they do, you replace them with someone who has the same skill level. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing with, free agency, which we didn't overspend on anybody. Maybe we spent the biggest penny was on Byron Jones. But, he demanded that kind of money. He's proved it for years with the Cowboys. The Cowboys knew they couldn't afford him because they had to pay all their other superstars, which worked in our benefit because now we have somebody that we can put opposite of Xavier Howard and not have to worry about them getting beat on man-to-man.
No, I that's a good assessment there. They also addressed like you said, Eric Flowers at the guard position. They got a running back in Jordan Howard, who he's not going to be a superstar. He's not going to be a top 5 running back, but he's going to contribute, and he's going to run hard, and he's going to get a lot of tough yards, Exactly. He's going to pound the ball. He's going to pound
There
the
you
ball.
go.
And the Dolphins are going to draft a running back in the first one of the, in the first
Yeah,
two rounds
obviously.
going to. And it's a good way to mentor that person, and it's a way to stabilize the running back and give, the future quarterbacks, people to work with, So, yeah, I mean, the Dolphins hit a home run in a lot of aspects in free agency. They didn't overspend, and they made the one big splash, but they filled a lot of voids, especially on the defensive side of the ball, so that, in my opinion, they could really try to concentrate on the offensive side of the ball come the draft.
I like that we filled the holes that we had. We filled a lot of the holes that we need. Obviously, we still need a left tackle. Obviously, we need another running back to go with Jordan Howard. We can always get another playmaker, But the best part of filling the hole, using free agency to fill those holes, so when the draft comes, we draft the best player available. We're not really drafting need. We need some spots, but we have enough draft picks that we could pick up that spot. If we don't get it here at 5, we can get them over at 18. Or if we don't get it at 18, we can get it over at 26. Or if we don't get it at 26, we can still get it over at 39 and still get a player that's going to contribute this year. And on a rookie deal. The only disappointment I'll tell you from the free agency is, wow, man, we had a chance at Todd Gurley. Even on half a knee, Todd Gurley is Todd Gurley. But I'm happy with Jordan Howard combined with a running back hopefully coming out of this draft.
So let's end the free agency talk with the one question. What is the one move either you wish they made or didn't, or you wish they didn't make come free agency for the Dolphins?
Didn't make. I'm happy with the players we got. I actually like Adrian Colbert, also from the U. Plays safety for us. He played very well. I like him being in the system. So it didn't make, I can't say. Like I said, Todd Gurley is probably the one that we probably could have got. Because, Atlanta's paying him what? Maybe, I think it was, I read, 9, maybe $8 million for you getting him discounted. And, a player like that who wants to prove that he's still the Todd Gurley of old, he gets to go back to his hometown, but he could have done the same thing down here. It would have been nice to get a player of that name and caliber in there with the system, but you can't get everybody,
Yeah, the one move I really wish they would have made, because it would have made the draft even more intriguing in a lot of ways, because what you could have done at that 5th draft pick, I wish they would have gotten Teddy Bridgewater. I really think that Teddy Bridgewater could have been a quarterback that could have been here for the next 3, 4, maybe plus years. He's still a young quarterback. Carolina gave him a 3-year deal. If they would have gotten Teddy Bridgewater, let's just say on a 3-year contract, you don't need to go after a quarterback. At number 5 position, you could draft the best offensive lineman that's still on the board. You could trade back, accumulate even more picks. There's so many directions you can go with that, but it is what it is. That's the one move I wish they would have made, but I understand why they didn't make it, or even if they didn't want to go after him for that reason.
Don't forget, he had a chance to come with us last offseason, and he decided to stay with the Saints for less money. So that's something that's probably because this is Greer, this is Flores, this is their second offseason together. So they probably still remember that, and they're like, hey, look, why would we pay a veteran? That's the part, where it's like, why would you pay a veteran his veteran minimum or even veteran money when we can get it for half the price or less in the draft, and with less injuries, and we can build them the way that we want to build them, And Teddy Bridgewater, he's from Miami, mad respect, Northwestern High School, 71st, but definitely I'm okay with going with the younger quarterback in the draft and grooming this quarterback into what we want to. And especially since we got Chan Gailey, who, we got him out of retirement, but this is the same guy who got Cordell Stewart back to the quarterback position in the NFL and had him throwing for 30-plus touchdowns in the 90s. He was ahead of his time back then. So we're going to see what Chan Gailey was a teacher. Chan Gailey was the coach for Boston College when Flores was there. Chan Gailey was a coach for Fitzpatrick, I think, when he was with the Jets. We have a teacher, and that's a big thing is young players and with a teaching mentality of the coaching staff that we have. We want to have those youngest players. The oldest player we have is Ryan Fitzpatrick. And out of these new players, I believe Kyle Van Noy is the oldest player at 29 years old. You know, this is what we need. We need youth. Youth is what wins. I mean, that Kansas City Chiefs team that just won the Super Bowl, they're going to be in contention for the rest of the next 10 years, with Patrick Mahomes being, 24, 25 years old max. And he's going to just keep building. They're just going to keep building on it because they built on youth. They built on the draft. And that's the way that we have to win. The free agency should be used to fill in holes, and we should concentrate on what is the draft.
So let's get into the whole draft here. Let's talk about the first round of the Miami Dolphins. They're going to be on the clock come Thursday, pick number 5. Let's just assume that there's no trades. This is for the sake of headaches here, and
let's hope for no trade. Let's hope for no
trades. All right. I don't want Miami to trade up or use their draft capital to trade up, but
I agree.
It is what it is. But so in this scenario, let's talk about the first round, pick 5, 18, and 26, and let's go by each of those picks and go by scenario. So in the first scenario, Tua's available, Herbert's available, Jordan Love's available, and even one of the top offensive tackles are available. Fernando, you're the GM of the Dolphins. Who are you turning in the card for?
So our first scenario, obviously, Burrow's going number 1. We're not trading up for Burrow. That's fine. Chase Young has gone. Probably Okuda's going to the Lions, and Simmons at the 4th pick. So we're talking about Tua being available. If Tua's there, we're in the video chat. We're on the Zoom. We're running to Roger Goodell. Hey, from your basement, get us Tua. We want Tua. Where Tua is the quarterback. Tua was the best player in high school all around. Tua was the best player in college all around. And what do you think he's going to do in the league? He's going to be the best player. He's elite talent. You can't pass up on it. We did it in 06. We passed up on Breeze. 6 doctors said Breeze's shoulders was not going to be the same. And we passed on him. And look what he did to New Orleans. He won a Super Bowl. That Super Bowl should have been ours. It should have been ours. But it didn't work out that way. And it's because we were playing it safe. We have to risk it. We have 3 first-round picks, 5 in the first 2 rounds. We can risk it. You got to risk it for the biscuit, and you got to take Tua. He's there. You take him.
The biggest elephant in the room for the Dolphins is the quarterback position. That's the biggest need for a player to be there, for a quarterback to be there for the next 10-plus years, to be that next Marino potentially, to take
We're still trying to replace Marino. We're still trying to replace Marino. It's not fair. Look at the Colts. The Colts went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck in 1 year. Like, it's not fair, dude. We're still trying to replace Marino.
Yeah. Hopefully the Dolphins have their heads on right. Hopefully they're like, let's stop the madness, At number 5, I'm the GM. I got to go Tua as well. I've heard a lot of great things about Herbert. I know you're not a fan of Herbert. He played at a high level at Oregon in that system. He beat some really good teams. He had a great combine, a great senior day, senior bowl.
Look, man, those are all great things. Combine is great. Look at being 6'6", having a strong arm is all great, man. But football's played on the field, man. When did Herbert do anything on the field? Tell me when he did something on the field, man. Cristobal, also from the U, was hiding his inaccuracies as a quarterback. He has this huge arm, but he's not accurate. Man. They were throwing screens, bubble screens here. Hey, you run your 4.5 speed. Like on an option over here, no. Like yes, Herbert is the safe pick. Herbert is the Tannehill pick. Herbert is gonna do great. He's gonna be a mid-tier quarterback. He's gonna be an Andy Dalton. He's gonna be a Ryan Tannehill. He's gonna be an 11 to 19 quarterback in the league, man. But Tua is elite. I understand the injury history. I understand his hip, his knee, his wrist, his ankle. But when that guy is healthy, when that guy is on the field, he makes everybody better. Alabama never, everybody wants to say, Alabama hasn't put out a quarterback since Namath. But Alabama's never recruited a quarterback like this. Nick Saban used to beat everybody in spite of their quarterback. That's Hurts. Hurts was in spite of Hurts. They were winning in spite of Hurts. And then when Hurts couldn't win it, what Tua came in that national championship game, threw that bomb, and they won another championship because of Tua. And Tua is elite. There's 2 elite quarterbacks in this draft, and that's Joe Burrow, who just completed the greatest college football season for any quarterback just this past season, and you could see the growth that he did. So I'm not saying anything bad about Burrow. If we trade out for Burrow, I'll be disappointed for the draft picks, but Burrow is the deal. He's the real deal. You know, if he has the talent around him, you know, he can do it, man. He's elite. But Tua's been elite his whole life. What do you think he's going to do in the league, man? You think he's going to take a step back? Nah. If he's healthy, he's the guy.
The best thing about drafting a quarterback at number 5, Tua, it could be Herbert, whoever the Dolphins end up loving. I mean, every fan has their own pick. Every critic has their own say. And
exactly.
If it's Tua, it's great. But the biggest advantage right now is the fact that he could sit behind Fitzpatrick for a year. And that, to me, that's the biggest key. Like, quarterback can sit behind. Mahomes did it for a year. Aaron Rodgers did it for, 2-3 seasons behind Favre? There is no reason not to sit behind, learn the system. Drew Lock just did. He did most of the season behind Flacco until Flacco got hurt and whatnot. And, you know, Dwayne Haskins was sitting behind until they really didn't have a choice but to play him. I want the Dolphins to put him like 3rd string, 4th string, and just don't let him see the field until it's like game 17, 4th quarter. Let him get his feet wet a little bit, and then just go off into the next season as him as a starter. You know,
man. As Dolphin fans, we're impatient, man. We're waiting for a Dolphin quarterback to come in here and take over. So shoot, I mean, it will be hard to see Tua sit, but I'll be okay. I'll be a little bit patient for it.
Every Dolphins fan, and listen, I'm a Dolphins fan, but I have the emotional detachment. If they win, great. If they lose, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. You know, it's not like my Canes. It's not like my Canes where I'm emotional about my Canes. But the Dolphins, you know, I'll cheer for them. I'll root for them. But if they win, lose, you know, it's not going to make or break my day. So I got you. So basically, Fitzpatrick, he could sit behind Fitzpatrick, and he could learn. He could learn the system. That when he comes into year 2, he's bigger, he's stronger, he could recover. You know, he's far more healthier than he's going to be now a year from now, and he can go in, and then he could be the man, and he could be the veteran, and he knows what to do, and he knows how to command the team.
Another big thing, a great thing of having Ryan Fitzpatrick is that he's played in a Chan Gailey system before. So another big thing is with this coronavirus going on, how much OTAs are we going to have? How much training camp are we going to have? The best thing right now is for our rookie quarterback to sit. So it's really good that we have a Ryan Fitzpatrick there who knows he's a bridge quarterback. He knows that, hey, we're drafting a young quarterback to replace you at some point, but you're still going to have the reins, and we need you to teach this young fella how to play. And don't forget, we have a Josh Rosen over here. He's like, hey, I can play too. I was a top 10 pick too. And I want to get on the field too. So it's competition. For me, it's competition. That is the biggest failure. That is the biggest failure that Tannenbaum had. What was this other GM's name? He went to the Saints. I'm blanking on his name, but it's going to come back to me.
Spielman.
But that was the biggest failure that these guys did to Tannehill. Tannehill was a good quarterback. Tannehill was a great quarterback. He should have made the Pro Bowl a couple of years over Andy Dalton and stuff. But they never competed. They never brought him competition. You need competition. Competition brings out the best and the worst out of people, man. I'm a pure believer. Brady, they drafted Garoppolo in the 2nd round. They brought in Hoyer. They bring in Matt Castle. They brought in competition for the guy. Probably the best quarterback of our generation. They would bring him competition. But Tannehill, no, man. Hey, Matt Moore, who's complacent on being a backup. Yeah, he's a good backup, but he's not going to compete for the number 1. He doesn't want to be number 1. He's complacent being the number 2. You need to draft the quarterback. If your quarterback is not top 10, top 5, you need to be bringing in a new quarterback every year, whether it's early in the draft, late in the draft. You need competition. competition is what's going to bring the best out of people. So maybe Josh Rosen needs this fucking. I'm sorry to curse. maybe Josh Rosen needs this. Hey, a Tua to come in here, and maybe this is his breeze year. Maybe Rosen comes out here in training camp, whenever training camp happens, and lights it up. And it's like, yo, this is the Josh Rosen that the Arizona Cardinals drafted top 10 and that we traded a second-round pick for. You know, maybe this is our guy. Maybe we can trade Tua and get a pick from somebody else. This is what the Patriots have been doing for years. They would have Brady bring competition in. Hey, let me get a second-round pick for Brissett. Let me get a second-round pick for Garoppolo. Let me take a first-round pick. Like, this is what you need. You need competition. Competition is what we need, man. And I can't, Rosen is sitting there. Fitzpatrick knows what's going on, and we're going to bring in a rookie quarterback. It will be super disappointing if we do not bring in a quarterback in this draft class that's willing to compete for that number one job.
Let me tell you something, man. When I wanted to talk draft, I knew to pick you, bet the Dolphins, because that passion is exactly what this is all about. So that's quite the analysis there on pick number 5 here. So we're going to move to pick number 18.
Okay.
And at pick number 18, instead of, you could talk about a few names here. It's hard to pinpoint exactly who's still going to be there at 18 because the draft is so unpredictable at times. And, people reach, things get, hectic there. So what position would you like to see the Dolphins pick at number 18?
Well, we obviously need a left tackle. We need a left tackle. If we get to his most important thing is going to be the right tackle. But we want to get one of the top 4 guys, obviously. That's Andrew Thomas, Wills, Wirfs, and Becton out of Louisville. Okay, I don't want to reach for one of these other guys. I know they're talking about Wilson. I know they're talking about Austin Jackson, the kid from USC. That we can wait with either the late pick in the first round. We want to get the best player available. So it depends on how the draft works out. But I really like the Clayson kid from LSU. That number 18 jersey is very important over in the LSU program. They give it to their leader on the offensive side and the defensive side. So Clayson's one of those guys. Delpit would be great in our defense for LSU. Or I'll tell you this, I'm not opposed to taking one of those receivers at 18. We have Preston Wilson's coming off an ACL injury. Devontae Parker's coming off a career year. Henry Ruggs, who ran a 4.2 at the combine. He doesn't drop passes. He'd be really nice right there in the slot for Tua or any quarterback that we got coming in.
No, that's I think offensive line is obviously the other biggest elephant in the room for the Dolphins. But I agree that if they don't get one of the top 4, which I don't think will even be there by the time 18 rolls around, they can grab one of the other ones like a Jackson or Josh or any one of those that are at number 26. At number 18, it's still too high to pick a running back, in my opinion. I think that's something you can get at either 26. You can even trade back into the first round or get at number 39. A wide receiver to me would be a home run of a pick. I think like a Justin Jefferson, Denzel Mims. I've seen in a few mock drafts. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay. There's receivers there. It wouldn't surprise me if they went Grant Delpit or Xavier McKinney if he's still there. It wouldn't surprise me, or an edge rusher to really learn behind Agba and Shaq Lawson and to get reps there throughout the season. So it wouldn't surprise me if they went any one of those directions because of the amount of picks that they do have and the value of that pick. So offensive line, if you'd love to get one of those top 4, if not, receiver, or they would probably go defense on that side of the ball with number 18.
I agree. But I like the versatility that this guy Clayson brings to the I know that Twitter was going crazy the other day because Grant Delpit ran like in the 4.3s. He'd be a nice safety to add to our secondary. Defensive tackle is another position that people don't really talk about. And like I was talking about earlier, Flores likes versatility. So There's the kid out of TCU. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. I like him. I know that people are not high on him, but there's not a lot of good of interior linemen coming out of this draft. So he could be somebody that I'm okay with taking at 18 because you could play him, like I said, from the nose guard to the 3 technique. You'll probably put him on the 5 technique, and he'll make plays, man.
Yeah, I look at mock drafts damn near every day, so I know a lot of these players. I'm like, I know a little bit more than I probably should, but so let's go to number 26. So they get the quarterback, they get their other position.
Yeah.
What at number 26? What would you like to do with number 26?
So at 26, now we're talking about, depends on what we do at 18. If we haven't got our offensive tackle, we got to go offensive tackle here at 26, man. We got to get an Austin Jackson. We got to get that Wilson kid from Alabama. We got to have somebody there on the offensive line. We've already, we have Dieter, who we got from Wisconsin last year on the line. We got Eric Flowers. We got Karras. We got Jesse Davis. We have 4 legitimate starters already, and we have the kid Isadora from the U as well. He's our swing guard that we got there. He might battle for one of those guards or center spots as well. But we need an offensive tackle. We need an offensive tackle to go opposite of Jesse Davis. So we have to go offensive tackle here. I'm on the same boat with you when it comes to running back. Don't overdo it. Look, I don't know why nobody's talking about this guy. I don't know why these guys on NFL Network have him ranked 4th, but Jonathan Taylor is legit. My number 1 running back is Swift. Swift reminds me of Kamara. When I watch Georgia play, and I watch Georgia play a lot for whatever reason, I don't know why, but Swift is Alvin Kamara. He's the exact copy of him. But Jonathan Taylor, I didn't know he was that fast, man. Did you know he was a track guy too?
He beat Miami twice, man. He beat Miami twice, bro. He can have power and speed. He's a really good running back.
He's the real deal. If you play fantasy football, find out where he goes because he's going to be a top 5 running back in fantasy football next year. I promise you that. I don't care where he goes. He's going to be a top 5 fantasy running back next year. Swift, I would love to see.
It's like this.
But I'm telling you, I like Swift too. But like I told you, I like your strategy of not. I don't want a running back in the first round. It's good because you get that 5-year. You get that 5th-year option, so you get a cheaper running back for longer. But I know as a Canes fan, you're going to hate it, but FSU's Cam Akers, dude. Yeah. FSU's Cam Akers, his best football is ahead of him, man. Yes, he was playing with a terrible offensive line in Tallahassee. He had no holes, no nothing. He's going to go to the league, and he's going to tear it up. Cam Akers in the late 2nd, 3rd round, I'm telling you, he's going to be a steal. Cam Akers, I'm okay with waiting for running back. And if you want to wait even longer, DJ Dallas. DJ Dallas is going to be waiting for us later. I'm telling you, we do not need to rush for a running back. We don't need to
Folks,
it's unnecessary.
Folks, I promise you, Fernando Cholo, he had not seen my notes. He does not know what I'm going to say. Let me tell you something. You said exactly what was on my mind about Cam Akers. Cam Akers, they can get at number 56 or with that, that first pick they have in the 3rd round. Cam Akers is going to be a stud. He gave Miami all sorts of fits, throughout the years. So he's going to be a stud no matter what. DJ Dallas, not to talk about Homer, but even though he'll be drafted later, he's going to be a stud because he's a workhorse. The guy works.
Zach Moss from Utah. He's from down here in Miami as well, man. Zach Moss is going to be really good. He's kind of the same running back as Jordan Howard. So I really wouldn't want him to be paired up with Jordan Howard. But Zach Moss, look him up, man. Zach Moss is really good. He had an injury cleared up in the combine. Zach Moss is going to be a really good running back in the league.
All right, so let's switch it up a bit and let's talk about what is the one move. What is the one move besides quarterback? What is the one move that you think the Dolphins will make, or you really hope they make in the first 2 rounds, like in day 1 or the first part of day 2?
I want to get one of these offensive tackles. Why I want to get one of these top 4 guys, whether it's Wirfs, whether it's the kid from Alabama, Becton, or Andrew Thomas from Georgia. We need to get one of these top offensive tackles. Our offensive line woes were crazy, man. I don't know if you watch All or Nothing on Prime, but Dieter got caught talking to this guy. Like we ended up looking like scrubs on it, man. We need offensive line. We need an offensive tackle at that. We need somebody who's gonna anchor it from the left side where we don't have to worry about it. Obviously, if it's Tua, we get a left-handed quarterback, he'll be on the right side. That's why I'm okay with Becton. I'm okay with the kid from Alabama. Because he played the right side. He was blocking for Tua's backside. We need to solidify that offensive line, man. We need a guy who's going to make holes there, and we need somebody who's gonna protect our quarterback's blind side, especially like we talked about Tua's injuries history. We can't have that. We need somebody who's going to be there and that can protect the blind side.
So one of the moves I really hope the Dolphins make, and I think they're going to be one of the prime candidates to make this move, is to trade back into the first round and trade with San Francisco. San Francisco has 2 first-round picks. The second of their pick is number 31, and they don't have another pick until the 5th round. So a lot of teams are going to be calling to trade up with them because the San Fran wants to accumulate a few more picks between 2 and 5. So the Dolphins, if they can trade back into trade number 39 and maybe like a 5th rounder, 2 5th round, whatever, down the road, get back into the first round. You can grab another offensive tackle or you're running back at that point or whatever. And, you have 4 first-round picks. And you still have the number 56 in the 2nd round.
Yeah, no.
Hey, we have the 3rd round.
No, you're absolutely right. Well, we got compensation picks for losing Juwan James. We got compensation picks. That's why we have 14 picks in this draft. So you're absolutely right. That's thinking outside the box, because that's something that I didn't even think about. But we can go in, and that's something that'd be smart to get a running back in the 1st round because of that 5th-year option. You get that 5th-year option on these running backs. You don't have to pay money. You don't have to pay. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, we have young quarterbacks. Young quarterbacks win Super Bowl. Look at Russell Wilson. Look at now Patrick Mahomes. Like, and Tom Brady was taking pay cut after all those years with the Patriots, so they can build around them. That's what you want. You want cheap cheap contracts, so you can build an actual team and not just spend it all on one player. This is not the NBA. One player does not make a team, man. It's not. It doesn't work that way. You have to have 11 players, and to win, you have to have them on the right price, on the right contract. That's why the draft is so big.
All right, let's do some rapid fire here. Very quick, decisive, yes, no, a very, very quick explanation. But I'm gonna throw something at you here. At number 5, Tua, Herbert, and Love are available. The Raiders call you. They say, we'll give you number 12 and number 19 for your number 5 pick. What do you do?
Nothing. I'm staying at 5. I'm taking the best player available. Not moving.
Okay.
I'm not moving.
Well, this is where the Dolphins really have to do their due diligence on all those 3 quarterbacks, because if they really love Tua, if they really like Herbert, if they really like Love, no matter which one is going to sit behind, they should sit behind for an entire year. Develop and everything. You still can get your quarterback or whatnot. I mean, that would be a very hard one to turn down. Jacksonville, number 9 and number 20. Or to make it more fair, there'd probably be number 9 and their 2nd round pick, number 42. What do you do?
I'm still staying put, man. I'm still it's a weird year. They're doing the draft like we're doing it right now through Zoom, man. And I heard that they don't you don't want to be making trades here. Look, 5. You can get, if we don't get Tua, Tua and Burrow, say something happens, say the Chargers trade up and they get to the 3rd pick and they take Tua. We're still going to get either Okuda from Ohio State, we might get Isaiah Simmons, or we're going to get our choice of the best tackle. at offensive line. So we're going to get a stud at 5. We cannot give that up. We can still build from 18, from 26, from 39, but we're going to get a stud at 5, and we cannot give that up.
I can't argue with that. You know, I would. You can't argue with that. That's sound and that's logic, and that makes a lot of sense to build your football team because, in my opinion, the Dolphins have 2 years to really build this into a contender. And because next year they have 2 first-round and 2 second-rounders, you know, they can focus on anything other than the quarterback, maybe build up on the defense or some skill position. So the Dolphins have their window right here of 2 years to build a team so that, you know, starting either year 2, year 3, you know, they should be back on top of the NFC. You know, Buffalo's going to be right up on their heels. The Jets are trying to make some moves because they already have their quarterbacks. And, you know, you got to take advantage of right now of the Patriots kind of starting over in a sense, especially at the quarterback position, but they won't be down long. I can tell you that.
I'm gonna tell you, I think the Dolphins are gonna be competitive, especially winning the AFC East. I think we win the AFC East starting this year. They're saying we have football this year. The Dolphins, with what they've done in free agency, what we have potentially to come now with the draft and the players and the momentum and the coaching staff that we have coming in, I'm telling you, we're going to have a competitive team and that we're going to come out of the AFC East #1 next year. And so this is the year that we have to get our studs, especially when it comes to 5, because we're not going to be picking up in the top 10 next year. Maybe from Houston's pick.
The Dolphins are definitely going to be more competitive. No, they're definitely going to be more competitive. That is for sure. Because this team did show a lot of fight. In my opinion, they kind of won themselves out of really guaranteeing them to be at number 2. But players they're there to win. They're not there to tank. You know, it is what it is. You would like to just see them just win 1 or 2 games. They don't go winless. They get the number 2 or number 3. They're gonna get to done.
But that's exactly what you want to see out of your team. This team was not built to win. What we win? We had 5 games last year. Like, this team was built to win 1 or 2 games, and they came out and they fought. They fought. They won. They beat a playoff. They beat a playoff team in Philadelphia. Where I'll tell you, I was at that game. It was 80% Eagles fans. That was a home game for the Eagles, and we went in there and came back and beat a playoff team in the Eagles at what felt like a home game for the Eagles. And we went into Foxborough when New England needed that game to get the bye, and we went in there and beat them as well. Like, these are not like, yeah, I understand the tank for Tua. I understand, hey, let's get the top pick. No, like, this team showed fight. This team showed that they want to win. They're playing for that coach. They're playing for that emblem. They're playing for something more than that. And that's what I think, that's what brought us these players that we have in the free agency market. That's what's going to bring us the future production from our draft picks coming into this system. So this is a huge draft, and we need to pick the right players that fit this system and that are going to take us to that next level. Because honestly, mediocrity is not. Now we're looking to go to the next level, and we're looking to compete at least for the AFC East and get into the playoffs next year.
All right, so that is going to wrap up our analysis of free agency and the 2020 draft and what we would like to see the Dolphins do, and throughout a couple of different scenarios of what we would do as GM. I mean, we can go a million different scenarios, but we don't have the time to do all that. So, you know, for those of you who see this video, leave us your comments, you know, let us know what you like, you didn't like, you know, give us your feedback, you know, and Cholo and I have talked about even doing a mock draft before the draft. So we may get that done. We'll see here. But it's been good,
absolutely.
Man. It's been good.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, to all you people, hey, at 305 Cholo Instagram, at Cholo 305 on the Twitter. Hit me up. Anything you need, let's do it. Let's get it. Go Fins. Whoever we draft, we got your back. Say section 129, the deep end. You already know we're there, loud and proud every Sunday. Let's do it.
All right, man. Take it easy, Cholo.
Appreciate you, Dan.